Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. So we are coming up on the fall season where we're going to be getting all these new shows coming to network television and all across the board. So I figured I would probably try and check out as many shows as I can, watching at least episode 1, putting out a review, and then, whatever sticks, whatever you guys are actually interested in seeing me review, I'll continue to review. So I figured I'd start with this show. Today I'll be talking about Prodigal Son on Fox. The Prodigal Son has a semi-interesting premise. You have an FBI agent, well, a former FBI agent, whose father is a serial killer, and it's kind of like his story and how he deals with that, with his father being, a famous murderer, and him using what he's learned from his father to perform his job. Now, the lead character is played by Payne, who you probably know as Jesus from The Walking Dead. And I have to say, I think he is the weakest part of the show for me so far. Maybe you enjoyed him, but I personally thought his character was really, really uneven. He's obviously dealing with a lot of issues, but he goes from a character that is pretty charismatic and pretty charming to just unhinged really quickly, and maybe that is a reflection of him having some of his father's characteristics, being like a manipulative killer or something like that. So, I don't know, I just thought his performance was a little all over the board. I feel like he went from 0 to 100 like multiple times throughout this episode. So maybe his character will grow on me a little bit more. Obviously, pilots of shows are usually a little bit rougher than the show itself as it progresses along. Part of the show that I find a little bit more interesting is his father and how they're dealing with that. And he is played by Sheen, and he's the serial killer known as the Surgeon. And I thought that was a little interesting. He is kind of a knockoff Hannibal Lecter, but I'm interested to see how his character progresses, being this really charismatic, likable character that might actually have some really dark sides underneath him, knowing that he's committed these horrible acts, and how they're going to strike that balance. And if they can pull that off, I think it'll be really interesting. As of right now, it hasn't really shown a whole lot. He is creepy, and he has his mannerisms, and the acting's fairly decent. But like I said, at the end of the day, he does feel like a cheap imitation of a character like Hannibal Lecter. Maybe we'll get a little bit more complexity to him. Maybe it'll feel a little bit more original as the show goes on. But as of right now, I don't know, I'm just not fully invested into it. I thought that that was going to have more of a draw, but when I'm watching the show, it kind of jumps right into it. We have a beginning part where the main character is talking to his father. He's younger, he's a child, he's growing up, and kind of, still loving his dad and wanting to go visit him even though he's a killer, and talking to him about murder and becoming so interested in the whole minutia of being a serial killer. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then he decides, oh, this is bad. I'm going to go be an FBI agent and use what you taught me to catch serial killers. Then he doesn't see him for, I believe they say 10 years or so. And then just like that, the drop of the hat, he decides to go back. They kind of show that he's conflicted to go back, but he just does it. It didn't feel like it was kind of be drawn out. I thought maybe they would drag that out at least an episode or two and show his struggles of dealing with coping with his father and communication with his father. He just kind of goes back to him. Now, I was interested in the show originally because I am a huge fan of the show Mindhunter, and I actually really like a show called The Following, and this kind of felt like a blend of the two, but I don't know, it just doesn't have its own identity yet. I feel like when I'm watching it, it's a procedural show that involves a really smart serial killer, and that just feels played out to me at this point. It doesn't feel like it's done in an interesting way, and it doesn't feel like it's anything new. It doesn't feel fresh like when I watch something like Mindhunter that's so well crafted, or something that, maybe takes a different vein or goes out there and tries something different and interesting. It just, as of right now, I'm just not that invested in it. Like I said, there are some facets to the characters that I do find interesting. I do think the main character dealing with almost like a PTSD, or having just issues coping with who he is as a person, knowing that his father committed these horrible acts and he's kind of associated with that and people automatically link him to that. It's interesting to think about how someone would deal with their parent or their relative being this infamous serial killer. You're always going to be shown as, you have those tendencies or you are somehow linked to that. So I thought that was an interesting concept. I just hope it's executed a little better than it is right now. I just don't think they haven't done it well yet. So all in all, I have to say, I was actually pretty disappointed with the premiere of this show. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe I missed the mark. Maybe I just need to give it another chance and jump back into it. I'll probably watch the first episode again before the airing of the second episode to really just dial in on it. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm missing a little minutia of the season, but right now, yeah, like I said, just a little underwhelming. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and let me know if you have started watching Prodigal Son. Do you like it? Are you invested in it? Do you find it interesting? Or does it fall a little flat for you like it did for me? And yeah, what's your favorite show that deals with this kind of source material? Obviously loved Mindhunter, but there's so many different shows that deal with the very intellectual criminal slash serial killer and dealing with the police and working with them. I don't know. I'm interested to see if it ends up panning out a lot better than it is so far for me. So those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.